Shorter episode today. It's not going to be a Power Hour live stream. I don't have time to do it, unfortunately, today. But I did want to go on live and catch up with everyone and go through the big news that we got today around the split, right? So let's go through that. By the way, I see all the comments coming in. Much love. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Such short notice. Let's go through the SEC filing. I want to talk through the split news. I want to talk through why it's a little bit different. I'm seeing some sentiment on Twitter, Tesla Twitter, and granted it is a select group of people in there that might not have opinions that match everyone. But I want to go through some of the reasons why this split is actually a little bit different. I want to go through the SEC filing and I want to go through the past dates to get an idea as to what price action might look like. And of course, we know this is just past performance doesn't always indicate what's going to happen in the future, but we can try our best. So SEC filing came out today, this morning, and let me know where you were when you saw this. I literally woke up and I had so many notifications to go through, and I didn't realize it was true. I thought it was fake. Anyways, stock dividend on March 28th. That's today. Tesla has announced its plan to request stockholder approval at upcoming 2022 AGM for an increase of number of authorized shares of common stock through an amendment. And remember, on this channel, made a video about stock split, why I thought a stock split was going to happen in 2022 and the reasons why it's likely. Again, it seems like Tesla is waiting until Berlin and Austin employees are onboarded, and it sounds like the timeline is fitting right into it. And it's going to enable a stock split, they say, of the company's common stock in form of a stock dividend. Remember, don't get too caught up in the jargon here. This is pretty much what happened last time, August 2020, when Tesla stock split. Every stockholder was given a dividend of extra shares. There's no dilution here for all intents and purposes, just a dividend given through a stock split. But remember, the stock split dividend or the stock dividend will be contingent on final board approval. I don't see Tesla putting out an 8K like this, putting it on the AGM vote if it doesn't get passed by the majority of stockholders and if the board's not going to approve it. But they have to say that, right? Anything can happen. Now, here's the thing. When is the next annual general meeting? Well, Tour Tesla compiled some dates together, and here I'm showing them here on the screen. What's interesting is almost always it's been June 2017, 2018, 2019. You'll remember in the COVID year, in the COVID year of 2020, sorry, it got pushed to September 20th. And that was because Elon wanted to do it in person, and it turned out, that wasn't really feasible. And then there's battery day and all this sort of stuff. So it got pushed to September. And what you'll notice is last year, it was after September. It was in October of last year. Now, here's why I think this might be a little bit different. A lot of people calling for the annual general meeting to happen in June of this year, following schedules prior to COVID. Now, I'm not sure if that's entirely the case. There might be good reason for them to wait at least or close to as close to as 1 calendar year away. So by doing it in June, you're effectively doing it 2.5 months early. 2.5 months early on an annual general meeting. Not sure if there's precedent of that happening. I'm not entirely sure, but it just seems like, to me at least, it's probably better to set expectations of this happening closer to September, maybe August if you're a little bit bullish, September, October, because if an annual general meeting is happening, and again, yes, new fiscal year doesn't necessarily matter, but I just see a lot of sentiment out there saying it's going to happen in June for sure. Tesla stock is going to split by July, done deal. And that might be the case, but I think setting expectations that way is probably not correct, especially if you're using something like options and you have expirations coming up or whatever it might be. We just don't know. It very well could be in June, but I think setting expectations of it happening later on, because remember what the process here is going to be, there's going to be a proxy that comes out with the agenda, and there's going to be a date set by Tesla saying, by this date, if you're a Tesla shareholder, you get access to vote into our AGM. And that might be, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks before the AGM. And then the proxy is going to come out. You're going to get that sent in the mail. And so by all intents and purposes, this might be dragging into late summer. We don't necessarily know. And that's why one reason this is actually a different split than normal, because last time, you'll remember in August of 2020, we just got a notice. It was an 8K saying Tesla is gonna split their stock, and that's it. And it's effective. What was it, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks from that point? So we had a set date. And especially if you look at price action. And I pulled up my Webull here. I'm reading the comments. Awesome. Especially if you read the price tag. By the way, 1,090 sitting on Tesla. Crazy, crazy day up 7.85% here, so $80. But if you look at Webull, and I've pulled up August of 2020, last time Tesla announced a split. Okay, I've had it labeled here for a while. I knew I'd be coming back to this day. You'll realize that Tesla rallied about 77% in the time from when they announced the split the next day to when they split. And that was about, let me just count how many trading days this is. This is about 13 trading days, about 20 days. And so 77% is quite the run, as we know, in the next 3 weeks. And that's why it's a little bit different this time, because in the next 3 weeks, we don't necessarily know exactly when the split is going to occur. And remember, it also coincided with a time when, as soon as the split happened, I think Apple split on the same day or the same week. There was a big NASDAQ tech crash in September. And so we retraced after the split had happened, down about 35%, something like that. And so this split is a little bit different because it's going to be prolonged. I mean, we don't necessarily know for the next 2 months we might be, and I'm just going to go back to today here. We don't necessarily know exactly when the dates are going to be. So the way that I'm kind of looking at this at the moment is good euphoria day today. Who knows if this continues for how long? Because at the end of the day, there's no date in sight at the moment. It could be as early as June. We don't necessarily know that just yet, though. And so I think as this retraces, it's probably better to continue to buy, at least for me, as Tesla stock retraces into the split, because this could be a long-term thing, not just the next 3 weeks. So overall, I mean, another thing to take into consideration with the split this time around is we do have this kind of headwind going on with Tesla Giga Shanghai and the closures happening in Shanghai. So that's another thing to take into consideration here as we move forward. Gary Black put out a good tweet, and I want to go through it here, saying, and by the way, let me know in the chat. I see everyone tuning in the chat. Let me know in the chat, what do you guys want to see the split come through as? 10-1, 5-1, 4-20? I don't know. Put it in the chat. I'm going to say, and we're having a really awesome conversation about this on Discord today. Much love to all the Juju Gang, Patreon and channel members. I was thinking 10-1 makes sense. I was originally very against 10-1, a couple months back, just because I didn't want Tesla to be a $100 stock, $90 stock, $80 stock back then. It just, it's less exciting covering. I mean, all intents and purposes, it doesn't actually matter. This is just me being a little bit weird. But a sub $100 stock, as we say here, it's going to be over $100. But it's just a little bit more subdued. But as I think about it, I think the market cap calculations coming in with a 10-1 split might make sense. We know today Tesla kind of follows the 1-to-1, right? $1,000 stock price, $1 trillion market cap. If you split 10-1, of course, just carry one less zero over. The math is still the same. I'm seeing a lot of comments in here, mostly 10-1. So a few 5-1 sprinkled in, a few 20-1s. By the way, if you're watching the replay, throw it in as well. I see Emmett's in the chat. Emmett's saying 20-1. Interesting. So that would be like a $50 stock on Tesla. And you know what? As I pull up my watch list here, even on Webull, you'll notice, if you haven't already, I'm sure you have. If I pull up my auto watch list, my EV auto watch list, almost all of these stocks are 20, 10, 50, 16, 10, 25. I mean, Tesla and Toyota, maybe Toyota is even 177, are the only outliers here. And I guess if Tesla wants to follow the mold of being in more of an auto company in terms of a stock price, that would make sense. But I think everything that Tesla stands for is to be almost the exact opposite of that, and to purposely be against kind of the status quo. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I guess we'll find out soon enough. But 20-1 would be quite the split. But hey, the bigger the split, the easier it is to get covered calls, the less capital you need to, let's say, write calls, write puts, all this sort of stuff. That would make sense, especially with the growth trajectory that I think a lot of Tesla bulls, especially in the chat here, you and I share. The bigger the split, maybe the easier it is to at least to get the quantity of shares that you want at the moment. So I guess we'll find out. If I was a betting man, I'd probably say 10-1 is probably what Tesla is going to end up doing. But to be determined. To be determined. Now, back to Gary Black's tweet here before I had the side tangent. Gary Black says Tesla split tweet clearly signals board intent to split shareholders for split at 2022 shareholders meeting, which could be June. He's saying a proxy goes up by May the 2nd. As I said last week, Tesla authorized shares of 2 billion must be raised versus 1.1 billion today. After the last split announcement, Tesla shares jumped 81% in 20 days. 81%. What's really nuts about this as well, and I'll pull it up here, is, I mean, the general market, you would think, is also probably has sold off to a large degree. It's not like we're sitting at all-time highs in the market, kind of like how we were in September of 2020 after the split happened. You know, when markets are sitting at all-time highs, correction comes, whether you like it or not, your favorite stocks can get hit, just macro speaking wise. But as we sit here right now, and I'll pull up the Qs, NASDAQ ETF, the NASDAQ ETF, yes, has rallied quite awesomely from the bottom here, but it hasn't even reclaimed its 200-day moving average here at $367. I mean, it's close, it's $5 away, but you know, it's kind of, stars are kind of aligning here for an extended run as we speak. So we'll see how we go. Again, shorter episode here today. I just wanted to cover a lot of this news that coming out. I wish I could go on for Power Hour and just continue to eat some jujus and just chat with everyone. And I'll read some comments here before I sign off. By the way, hit like and subscribe if you're new here. Let's say Boyle says, I will say the bigger the ratio, the less often they need to split, which makes fewer instances of these kind of moonshot days. I mean, that's definitely an astute point. I mean, the less or the bigger the split, the less splits you can probably project into the future. And for that reason, I think to Apple, for example, and I'd have to fact check this, but I think they've kept their splits pretty tame, 5-1, 4-1. You know, they've done it multiple times for sure, but they've kept it pretty subdued. And Apple used to be what, a $500-$600 stock, you know, for a bit. I'm thinking like 2013, I forget when it was. So anything's possible, but yeah, I mean, I guess 5-1 split would bring that on. Here comes 1100, says Alex. Oh, let me pull that up. I know. So I see a comment here from Suji saying, dude, you got to stay on for Power. I really wish I could. Today's not Gary Black. Today's a busy day for me, so I'm just running around, but I thought I'd make some time to go on live. By the way, let me know in the chat as well if you appreciate more of these kind of live stream episodes, even if I'm on for 15 minutes, or would you rather I pre-record them and then just post them on my channel? Let me know either way. I'm kind of flexible. This is a little bit harder for me to do the regular episode, but I think it's more fun to do more live streams, even if it's for 15 minutes. Let me know in the chat. I can always take feedback that way. Okay, much love. 1,092 sitting on Tesla. Remember, Hive Day is 1,096. It seems like you guys like lives. I like it. If you guys like the lives, just realize I'll probably be a little bit less professional because, you know, for a 10 or 15 minute live, there's a lot of preparation I have to do, and then I have to go through it, and I can't really man the chat. So as long as you guys are cool with that, I'm happy to go live randomly for 10 or 15 minutes. I know I've said that in the past, but I actually just got a new phone, so I can actually use my speaker. I know I had a busted up phone, iPhone 11 for the last year. So there it is. You guys are saying stay on for the 1100. We'll see. I mean, here's the 1 minute graph on Tesla. What a day. I mean, beautiful textbook Tesla day, right? Sell off in the morning in the first half an hour of the day, rally for the rest of the day. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, don't sign off just yet. One thing I forgot to mention is the options order flow on Tesla is pretty subdued. So I'm not saying be careful, but you know, buyer beware for a second here on the options order flow. And that's not to say Tesla can't continue to rally in the face of what's happening here. But in terms of options order flow, at least shorter term options order flow, it seems like a lot of hedging, a lot of put buying is going on at the moment. You'll see the algo flow score for Tesla is essentially 0 at the moment. It's not like one of those days when you see the algo flow score way higher than the stock price, super green in terms of the options algo flow. It's kind of it's kind of a subdued day here. So keep an eye on that. A lot of the options signals that came through, and by the way, this is Trady Tick's link in the description. A lot of the order flow that did come through, like this 1050 strike, this, and by the way, it's 26 orders, 148. You guys know I get really excited for anything over 30 or 40 orders. 148 orders for 1100 strike expiring this week. 1100 strike. So this is, for all intents and purposes, this 1100 strike has already essentially hit the. I mean, we're $3 away from there, where we were at highs. So catching these types of moves are big, but I think a large portion of these might be ending up being closed very soon. So something to take into consideration. Jason says live is better than length. Or yeah, more live, less length. Awesome. Okay, got the feedback. I appreciate it. Much love, guys. Take care. Throw in the chat before you guys sign off. Where do you think we end the day today? I know we can't do the official Juju virtual prize, but maybe if someone can, maybe I can go through the chat after. Throw in your guess. Price is Right rules. I'll try to see if I can go back and man the chat and find out who's won. But if someone wins, you can always screenshot and tweet it at me or something. I'm happy to give props. Much love. Alex says, bro, where are you going? I have to sign off. Today's a really busy day for me. I had to update all my stuff before even coming online because my NVIDIA chip card was also messed up, as you guys know from the last stream. So much love. 1,091 sitting on Tesla at the moment. $10 away from 1,100 again. What a day. What a day. And let me see here. No notifications. Awesome. I see some funny chats coming in here. Some good guesses. I'm going to throw out my guess as well. I'm going to say, I'm going to pull up the daily. One sec. I'm going to pull up the daily and just take a look here. I'm going to say 1,005. 1,005. We're going to finish at the high of this small channel from the beginning of the year after post deliveries. Hey, by the way, folks, year to date, I mean, we've actually, no, that's not true. Year to date, it is still $1,200 is the high. So, I mean, we're only $100 away, which is about 10%, which can happen in a matter of a couple of days, of course, as we know. Asking the opposite. But by the way, what a run Tesla's had in the last week. I haven't even measured this. Let me just do this for a hot second. From the 15th of March to today, in 9 trading days, we're up 45%. So, when we talk about the 75% run that Tesla had after split, another thing to take into consideration there. I keep saying I'm going to sign off, but I always remember other points to say. But another thing to take into consideration, when the split was announced last time, Tesla had been trading flat, if not down, for a long time. So if there were shorts piled up here, because we know Tesla, there's a lot of shorts that love to short Tesla. If there were shorts, those guys got squeezed during this rally after split announcement too. So 75% may be an overextension. And again, like I just said, we're already up 45% from middle of March. So take that into consideration for any sort of estimations that you might be pulling for guesses for the next little bit. All right. Oh, yes. Sorry. I meant 1105. What did I say? Did I say 1,005? Oh, whoops. Sorry. 1105. 1105. See, I'm not even used to it's been like 2 weeks since we hit all-time highs or something. It's been like a month or 3 months, but it feels like a while. Yeah, I'm confused. 1105. 1105. 1105. That's my guess. On the dot, Price is Right rule. So if it goes 1105.01, I'm out. All right, guys. Much love. I see everyone coming in. Gary, how's it going? Gary says he's coming to Austin. It's looking less and less likely that I'll be able to make it to Austin. If I do, it'd be one heck of a surprise. But weirder things have happened, like a Tesla stock split. So we'll see. We'll see. I've gotten some DMs from people talking about like picnics and like little things going on the side. So maybe it's worth going, even though I don't get an invite, which it sounds like invites already been going out. So haven't gotten one. So it seems like I probably won't get one. But it sounds like even without an invite, you could probably still have fun in Austin. To be determined. The problem is if I go, like I said, I'd only be able to go for like 2 days, if that, maybe 3 days, 2 nights. I mean, so it's it might be tough. But let me know. Let me know. Let me know in the chat if any of you guys or girls are going. So much love, guys. Take care. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Maybe I'll have a video out tonight. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a deep dive into more option stuff that's coming out as the day closes on here. Hour and a half to go to close. Be well. Be happy. And congrats to Tesla stockholders and options holders, I guess, for the split news. But remember, it's not imminent. It's not happening in the next 3 weeks like it was last time. This is an extended thing, almost like Google a little bit, by the way, like 3 months out. But we still don't have a set date. So I'm setting my personal expectations for August shareholder meeting. Let's say if it gets pushed back, we know things get pushed back all the time, maybe September. If you really want to be bearish, you could say matching October of last year, which I think is more of an anomaly, if anything. But I'm setting expectations for later in the summer. If it happens earlier, great. But yes, just setting expectations for myself there. do your own DD, figure out what makes sense for you, and feel free to leave a comment. And happy to change my opinion if something gets brought up. Much love. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I see a bunch of Juju Gang members in here. I'll catch you guys on Discord. Much love. Hit subscribe if you're new.